Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com, and I'm here with the top 2 Android smartphones available from MetroPCS, the Samsung Galaxy Indulge 4G and the LG Optimus M. Both, like I said, Android smartphones from MetroPCS. They both ship with Android 2.2, but the Indulge is a 4G phone, has a 1 GHz processor. The Optimus M is not a 4G phone. However, the Indulge is $400, kind of pricey, whereas the Optimus M is only $200. So is it worth it to spend the extra $200 for 4G for slightly better specs, or is the Optimus M fine enough, or should you not even consider the Optimus M and go for the Indulge? That's what we're going to talk about in this dogfight. We're going to put both of these phones together and see which one you should consider if you're thinking about buying a phone from MetroPCS. Now, both phones have actually pretty comparable cameras, a 3-megapixel camera on the Indulge and a 3.2 megapixel camera on the Optimus M. Now, neither one of them has a flash. As you can see, they both have an autofocus. I will say that I think the Optimus M camera is definitely more towards the price range. I mean, for $200, yeah, okay, I'll accept a 3.2 megapixel camera. Should have been better, but it's more geared towards the price range. Whereas, $400 for a 3-megapixel camera, I mean, there's feature phones on the market that have better cameras than that. I'm really disappointed. In the area of the camera, you really do not get what you pay for with the Indulge, whereas with the Optimus M, you do. I mean, and that's obvious. You have a $200 phone and a $400 phone, and they both have the same camera. That doesn't make any sense. So, but camera performance was, obviously the same and up to what you would expect with a 3-megapixel camera, but I definitely think it should have been better with the Indulge. So that's something to consider, whenever you're trying to decide, is it worth the extra $200? Well, in terms of the camera, no, not really, because it's the same camera. Now, we'll talk a little bit about speed and processor. The Samsung Indulge has a 1 GHz Hummingbird processor, the same processor that's in the Galaxy S devices, whereas the Optimus M has a 600 MHz Qualcomm processor. So there's some difference there, and that may seem, kind of obvious. Well, I'm going to go with the 1 GHz. Really, there is some difference. The 1 GHz processor is definitely faster, obviously, but I was very impressed by the 600 MHz processor in the Optimus M. I mean, it performed, much better than I thought it would. In comparing it to other devices of the same caliber with a similar processor, it was a lot faster. And so, yes, we'll go into, yes, the 1 GHz processor is better, but 600 megahertz wasn't bad with the Optimus M. So just to show you really quickly the difference here, I'm going to go into the web browser. I have PhoneDog loaded up, and is it loaded? Yes. So I'll show you pinch to zoom. As you can see, it's very fast, and then once I zoom in, the text automatically shrinks to fit now the zoomed in aspect ratio. So very fast there, whereas here if we go to the web browser and we'll load up PhoneDog.com here as well, and then when we zoom in, you can see it's not bad. I mean, it's fast enough. It's a little more laggy, a little more choppy. It's not as fast as a 1 GHz processor, but definitely it's not bad. I mean, it definitely performs well. And then when we zoom in, you can see it takes longer for it to shrink that paragraph to fit onto the display. And then when I rotate it, definitely slower. So, the processor, the 600 megahertz processor on the Optimus M isn't bad. 1 gigahertz, it's very speedy. I had no lag at all. I could zoom in, I could run multiple applications, I could take pictures, I could do everything I needed with no lag at all. I didn't have to worry about, how many apps I had open. The 600 megahertz processor with the Optimus M wasn't bad. It was fast enough, definitely fast enough to keep you satisfied. However, there is some slight lag, and there were times that I had to open my task manager and maybe kill some apps to keep it running smoothly. So is that worth an extra $200? Well, that depends on you, but I'm going to give you the facts, and there they are, and you can make your decision. Now, the Samsung Indulge, like I said, is a 4G phone, and the Optimus M is not. So that's obviously a huge advantage that the Indulge has. There's really no discussion there. I mean, it's just better. With MetroPCS 4G network, I generally got speeds of about 4 megabits per second down and then 4 megabits per second up. There was some, change there. Sometimes I got 4.2 or, 3.8, but on average it's about 4 down and 4 up. Very speedy. LTE can be faster, but it's definitely fast enough. I didn't even connect it to my Wi-Fi network because it's so fast, I don't need to. I can download apps within 10 seconds, pages load like that. So, huge advantage, no discussion there. The Optimus M, it's 3G, but the 3G speeds were slow. I'm not sure if there was just something wrong with the particular device that I got, but they were even slower than what 3G should be, and slower than, what I got with other MetroPCS 3G phones. Now, it doesn't use EVGO revision A, it uses EVGO revision 0, so, it's not going to be like typical 3G speeds that we get with other 3G phones. It's going to be a little bit slower, but even considering that, it was too slow. So 4G, a huge advantage there. So lastly, we'll talk a little bit about the battery. They both ship with a 1500 milliamp hour battery, which is, pretty standard these days for an Android smartphone. And honestly, battery life was about the same on both devices. They both, 4G LTE typically drains the battery faster than just, a 3G phone. And so, I noticed that there were days where I couldn't make it through a full day on a charge. Whereas with the Optimus M, I generally could make it through a full day. It wasn't a huge difference there. I mean, maybe a couple of hours, which, may be a huge difference to you, but it wasn't as big of a difference as I expected. I mean, a lot of other reviews that I've read have said that the Indulge's battery life was just not great at all. It was just not good and not up to par with what they expected. However, I didn't really experience that. So battery life on both were about the same, and generally I could get through a full day, at least to the evening, with the Indulge before I had to charge it. So there it is, guys, the Indulge versus the Optimus M. We've covered everything: processor, display, camera, data, hardware, UIs. We've covered everything, and the question is it worth it to spend the $400, the extra $200 from the Optimus M? Is it worth it to spend that much, or is the Optimus M a fine phone? And I'm gonna say, if you can spend the $400, then great, definitely go for it, because yeah, it is a better device. It's speedy. It's a 4G phone. I mean, data speeds are gonna be like unbelievable, but there are some negatives. I mean, the camera you're not getting what you pay for. And then, the display, it's not a super AMOLED display like the other Galaxy devices. So if you can afford it, yes, go for it. But really, the Optimus M, it's good enough. It's speedy. It's better than what you would expect. I'm going to say that because I know I've talked to a couple of people and I've read, comments from other people, and just, based on what I expected, it definitely exceeded my expectations. So the Optimus M is definitely a fantastic phone. Everything in here is exactly what you pay for, and it's great. I definitely think you'll be very satisfied with it. So the Optimus M is fine. If you want to spend the extra $200, go for it. It's worth it, and you'll love it. You'll definitely enjoy it. But if you can't, the Optimus M is a great phone. So there it is, guys, and you can decide if you want to spend the extra $200 or not. I really think you'll be satisfied with the Optimus M, but 4G, that's hard to pass up. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. We're going to have more dogfights with smartphones, and once we get some feature phones in, I'll do dogfights with those. Also, more news, more other reviews and written reviews on phonedog.com, so keep it locked there. My name is Sydney. If you have any questions, you can follow me on Twitter. My screen name is It's My Job to Know. Just send me a message, and I'll try to answer it as soon as I can. But thanks, guys, for watching. I'm Sydney from phonedog.com, and I'll see you guys later.